Okay, folks, welcome to part two of the member stock pick request video. This is where we review symbols that our members submit to us for analysis. And this is a free service as part of the Contrarian Trader membership package. And what you're looking at here is what we'll be rolling out soon is the new membership dashboard. And rather than us requesting emails from members, soliciting emails from members, what members are going to be able to do is just simply type in their top 3 or 4 stock picks, and I'll be able to go down and take a look at this stock ticker cloud, identify the most popular, and then rather than waiting for one big video to come out on a daily basis, I could take a look at what's trending and discuss those videos, because our purpose is to provide a more personalized service, unlike my competitors. So when you take a look at the ticker cloud, you could see that X has some interest, which is U.S. Steel. VTMB is one of our more popular stocks, and when you click on this symbol, it'll open up to a stock chart, and I could just simply do analysis from the ticker cloud. And again, it provides me an insight as to what our members are watching. You'll have access to stockcharts.com as well as trade communications. This is all beta version, so the aesthetics, the look, the colors, etc. will all change. This is all purely beta for functionality right now. Our watch list, our portfolio, and these are not our real portfolios, and this is really not our watch list. This is all test stuff. Our historical trades, raw trades, and what you'll be able to do is when you take a look at how we've been performing, and you'll be able to open up, see how we built a position, when we booked our profits, and what type of return that we had. Same thing with our portfolio. If you're new to the Contrarian Trade, you'll be able to click on the plus sign, and you'll be able to see when we opened up our position, how many times we added to that position, what our basis cost was, what our profit and loss is, what type of notes that we have in on the trade, and when we close out the trade, it will go to historical trades. So we're all about transparency. We're all about providing one-to-one communication to our members, and that's what you should be looking forward to as a member of the Contrarian Trader, again, free of charge. And we'll be, again, beta testing this in the coming weeks, and we have some members already identified that will take part in that. So let's get to the charts. And before we get into the members' requests, let's take a look at how we did so far this year and this past week. So far this year, while the talking heads on CNBC were saying buy the stock market, buy the Russell 2000, we were saying to short it. And as you can see, we've been short from the very top to where we closed on Friday. And the Russell 2000 has corrected 10% on the year. And all the while, the pundits have been saying buy, and we've been saying sell. Last week, we closed out our trade in ZIXI. That was a $960 profit. This is one stock that was on our death watch list, our watch list of contrarian stocks, where everybody hated it, and the stock rallied, and we booked our profits quickly because we saw sellers up here, as noted by these topping tails. First out, best out. We booked those profits, moved to the sideline. The other stock that we booked profits on was IPCM. That was for $3,760, and this is another one that pulled back, was added to our watch list. We watched it. We built a position, scaled into a position. It rallied, and we booked profits here. So a great trade. I know several members are still involved with this trade. It bounced off the lower band of the declining downtrend line and proceeded higher. And they're still involved. Great job, guys. I would stay long. I think that this is going up to $44 per share easily. So a nice job there. And the last trade up that we closed out last week was CNSI, and we broke profits here for $350, and we saw this topping tail. We saw resistance at $25 per share. Respecting the fact that there is resistance up here, we booked profits quickly, and you can see that the stock collapsed. Now we're back down below the prior lows. This could be an undercut double bottom. This might be one that we may be getting involved with again soon. We may add this one back to our watch list. So if you're a member and you're still interested in CNSI, or if you're involved with it still and you need some direction, a second opinion on it, please shoot me an email, and we will definitely take a look at it for you. All right, let's get to the member stock pick requests. All right, first stock up is Quicksilver Resources, KWK. This is for fellow member Jesus. KWK is one of those stocks that was attempted to break out. It failed, as noted by this topping tail here, and we've pulled back to a nice support level. What I'm looking at here is a double bottom setup off of $2.38. In fact, we had an undercut double bottom, reversal off of that support level. Now we've pulled back. Nice orderly pullback into a triangle formation. I like the stock. I think that we're probably going to break out above the upper band of the declining downtrend channel. This is a daily chart, so the 3-day rule applies. Needs to trade above this resistance level for 3 consecutive days before we get involved. Ultimate oscillator looking strong. Potential double bottom setup on slow Stokes, and the RSI is looping up. So we like Quicksilver. It's looking pretty good. Next stock up is for Jesus as well. Mobi, M-O-B-I. This is another one. Good eye here, Jesus. It's in a tight triangle formation. We bounced off the lower band. It's respecting the support level. If you're long, you need to keep a stop loss order just below that support level, and I would be a buyer on a breakout above and a close above the upper band of the declining downtrend channel. Once again, the 3-day rule applies. Needs to trade above that level for 3 consecutive days. We have broken out an ultimate oscillator. This is a classic case of the indicators leading price action. So a good looking chart, an inverted head and shoulders setup on the slow stochastics, very rare to see, but it's looking good. Here's your left shoulder, head, right shoulder. That's a bullish setup. So Jesus, good picks here. On a weekly chart, I'm a little bit more concerned because we attempted to rally, we reversed off the highs of the week. So again, we need to really respect the upper band of the declining downtrend channel. We need to close above it. So while I like the daily chart, I'm a little bit concerned on a weekly basis. We may need another week of consolidation, which is fine. The longer the consolidation, the more probable that the directional move that the stock chooses to make is going to be successful. MTL, Mechel Steel Group, a former high flyer. This is for fellow member Owen. These names typically have a lot of shorts involved in them, and what we saw on Friday was a bullish engulfing. So the probability of continued upward move is good, probably up to the $2.20 level. We are in a short-term uptrend off of a double bottom setup. So I like this, the lower band here. I would be a buyer on a pullback to that level. You could be a buyer on Monday with a rally up to 220, but then you have to expect resistance or sellers up there. I wouldn't make that trade. I would be a buyer on a breakout and a close above $2.20. Good uptrend on the RSI. Weekly chart, we still haven't broken out yet above the upper band. I would wait for a breakout and a close above the upper band on a weekly chart, and then I would begin to accumulate shares. Next stock up is OSGIQ. This is an OTC stock, overseas shipping group. The weekly chart is looking really good with the exception of the top and tail last week. It closed off the highs of the week. Other than that, but this is the most important, but other than that, the RSI is breaking out on a weekly basis. It's putting in higher lows on the slow stochastics. MACD went positive last week, higher lows on Williams percentage R. So an interesting stock. It's looking fairly good. Now on a daily basis, it broke down below a short-term uptrend line, which is not good. I would expect to see a pullback to the, say, 775 range. That might be a good risk-to-reward entry point. So I would expect short-term weakness, but longer-term on a weekly chart, it looks fairly good. Next stock up is QTWW. This is for Rich. Daily chart, good reversal off of the lower band of the short-term uptrend channel. The stock obviously has seen a lot of pain. We're probably going to see a rally up to the $4 per share level. If you get involved with the stock on Monday morning, I would look to book profits at that level due to the fact that you have your 50-day moving average, which is rapidly gaining momentum and is going to take out the 200-day moving average absent an act of God. So just be forewarned. I can't believe how much this stock has fallen. We traded this one, made over 100% last year on QTWW. So much for the high beta alternative fuel stocks. That trade is pretty much dead. So this is maybe good for a short squeeze. Other than that, you need to stay on the sidelines. Watch your slow stochastics in a tight pennant formation. This may be one where the indicators lead price performance. You see a breakout ahead of price action. You may want to take a little bit of a risk and nibble on some shares. QTWW weekly chart. I think we're going to get a pullback off of resistance here, probably back down to the $2.99 level. It's questionable whether or not it's going to hold. So you have a short-term trade here, but it's a high-risk trade with limited upside potential, Rich, so just be forewarned on that. SPPI, Spectrum Pharmaceuticals. This is for a fellow member Fernando. This is a weekly chart. It broke out of a triangle formation. It rallied, and you could see how you need to identify your resistance levels, because it went right into resistance, and there were the sellers there. Buyers back here who bought and were stuck in the sell-off. They want their money back. They're not interested in making a profit. All they see is their loss turning green into a break-even trade, and they want out. And they book their profits. Does that mean that the trade is dead? No, not at all. It means that you're probably going to see a little bit further weakness. It's going to need to consolidate, and this is where you want to take a look at your daily chart. It's going to need to consolidate. It may need to break this lower band of the rising uptrend channel. I would think that 720 should be a good support level. If it consolidates and holds that level for a good period of time on declining down volume and rising up volume, then you can begin to nibble on shares. SWKS, this is for fellow member Victor. Victor, good consolidation, good eye on this one. $40 per share, it looks like good support level. I am fairly bullish on SWKS, which is Skyworks Solutions. The slow stochastics, both lines are trading below the 50 level. So really what you need to pay attention to here is what am I willing to risk? And if you needed to put a stop loss order in, you need to have a stop loss order in just below 39.84, and you need to get out, because if it breaks below and closes below that support level, you're going down to fill the gap at $38 per share. So just keep that in mind. If I was going to be a buyer, I would open up a position on Monday morning. However, I would not be my entire position. Victor, you already know that. You've been a long-term member. You know my style. So if we break out, we're going to wait for the 3-day rule to come into effect, and then we'll add to that trade on a breakout above what is currently resistance, should then be support. Weekly chart. Victor, this is where I become concerned. We have an attempted breakout which failed last week, a key reversal. Now, I think that this stock needs to spend on a weekly chart a couple of weeks of respecting the $40 per share level, if not breaking it, and then closing the next week above it. Basically, the inverse of what we saw last week, a bullish key reversal and a close above the $40 per share level. Basically, like you saw back here, a key reversal, but it holds and closes next week above $40 per share. That would make me somewhat more bullish on the name. Next stock up is for Karen, SYPR, Sypris Solutions, weekly chart. Karen, I have to say I'm concerned about this stock. The easy money's been made, good consolidation, and we rallied. You have resistance at the 200 period moving average, and you have topping tails, which is a sign of selling at the 4 to 425 range. And it's basically, it's these people back here that got stuck in this head and shoulders setup, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. They got stuck in the sell-off, and again, they've waited 4 months now to get their money back, and that's all they want to do is get their money back, and there's a lot of them. So I would wait for a pullback, a better risk to reward entry point, and then I would look to get long of the stock. Let's take a look at the daily chart. The daily chart looks pretty good. It's in a triangle formation. It may continue to break out, but I question it. I really do, because the weekly chart is a more dominant chart. Now, if we open up and we hold 375 next week and we rally, okay, great. That means that there's probably a high short interest, or the fundamentals are great, or the stock pays a fat dividend. One of the three. It's got to be one of the three, or the stock on a headline news basis is either being bought out or reports great earnings. And that's not going to be reflected unless somebody's was in the know back here that the stock is being bought out, and that's why the stock shot higher. I'm not sure what the story is, why it shot higher, whether or not it is a headline news-driven event that hasn't been announced yet, or whether or not the technicals just made it, the time was right for shorts to cover. So that's my take on SYPR. It's a show-me stock. It's got to consolidate more. I'm concerned about these topping tails. If it closes above the 200 period moving average next week, I'd be somewhat more bullish. especially if it closed above $4 per share, which gets you through some of the resistance here, and it shows that there's demand on rising up volume. SZYM, this is for our fellow member Rebecca, weekly chart. Hey Rebecca. I like the fact that it's the lower band of its triangle formation. Good doji star formation last week, which is a sign of indecision between bulls and bears. That means that the trend reversal, which has been down, the probabilities favor longs, that the trend reversal is going to, in fact, occur to the upside. Daily chart, again, good risk to reward entry point. So we like SZYM. I do not like the fact that the 50-day moving average is threatening to take out the 200-day moving average. So this is a trade. If you get involved with this stock and it rallies, especially up to this upper band of the declining downtrend line, I would be looking to book profits, especially if the 50-day has not yet crossed below the 200-day moving average, because that event is going to pressure the stock lower. TER, Teradyne, this is a daily chart. It's respecting this uptrend channel. I would not be a buyer. This is a daily chart. I would not be a buyer unless we got a breakout and a close above this resistance level, which should then act as support. I'm going to repeat this for the 1,000th time today. We need to employ the 3-day rule. It's got to trade above that level for 3 days, then begin its breakout, and then we would add to that trade. The daily chart is in an uptrend. I would like to see a pullback, a double bottom setup, and a breakout higher on Teradyne. That's a sign of strength. Again, same thing with the Stokes. Pullback, double bottom setup, and a breakout. And this is for Christine, if I didn't already mention. So a good stock pick here, Christine. Teradyne is looking pretty good. The weekly chart of Teradyne, it's respecting the lower band of its rising uptrend channel. Looks pretty good. Christine, I know you requested Twitter in our email exchange earlier this week, so I'm going to go over it for you. $32 per share is a key support level. It managed to close above that support level last week, or at that support level. If we break, it's probably going to come back down to $29.51. I would look to be a buyer of Twitter on a double bottom retest at $29.51. As of right now, I wouldn't touch it. I would like to have seen a little bit more bottoming tails. So I would be a buyer on a breakout above the, say, $34 per share level, or on a pullback to support down here, assuming that, of course, we do not break down below this lower band. I would keep a stop loss order just below $29.51. Oscillators look pretty good. So TWTR, as a matter of fact, Christine, you've been a member a long time. Spend a little more time on your stock here. I know you're long of it. Let's take a look at a 30-minute chart. All right, so on May 7th, we rallied off the lows. We've pulled back. Good consolidation, and we've held that $32 per share level. Nice little double bottom setup here on a 30-minute chart. I'd become more bullish on a breakout above this 33.21 level, which is a pivot point. What makes it a pivot point? This is a W formation. Here's the left side of your W, the center, which is the pivot point, the pullback, which sets up for the right side of the W. Look for a breakout or an attempted breakout above 33.21. That would make me bullish on the name. If you have any questions on this, Christine, shoot me an email, okay? Okay, UA, Under Armour, daily chart, good consolidation at the lower band of support, this triangle formation. I like it, good support at $46 per share. Looks like your RSI is wanting to hook back up again. That's a sign of strength. Volume could have been a little bit better on Friday, but it's in consolidation mode, so we'll give it a pass. I would want to see that up volume rise if we begin to rally. Ultimate Oscillator is breaking out on a daily chart. That's the indicator leading price action. That's a good sign. Under Armour is looking good, Mike. So good luck on that trade if you make it. VTMB, this is for fellow member Ron and Christine. This is one of our more popular symbols. We booked, this is our 2014 penny stock pick of the year. We booked 760% profit or 750% profit earlier in the year, and then we traded again for 70% profit. This is when the microcaps were in favor. They have not been in favor, but it's still a very popular symbol with our members. Therefore, we watch it. We pay attention to what our members watch because it's a more personalized service. This is certainly not guerrilla trades, folks. Guerrilla trades is far more of a non-personalized service, churning out some half-witted stock picks, whereas we would rather engage our members, keep our membership small, and engaged on a one-to-one basis, helping their portfolios out. So VTMB is independent formation. I respect the fact that it's been holding the support level. I would not be a buyer just yet, not unless we break out and close above the upper band of resistance, especially in light of the microcaps being out of favor. The 3-day rule is in effect here, just like with every other stock we're trading right now. So VTMB, I like. It's going to be a watch. I know we have several members watching it, and we'll continue to watch it. Last stock up is for fellow member David. David's looking at the volatility iShares. This is the inverse. This is basically a bullish bet on the S&P 500. So despite the fact that the S&P 500 has been shaky of late, the volatility index is showing strength. Now, when I take a look at the VIX, we're nearing very, very historic lows on the VIX. So I would really caution, this is a sign of complacency, I would really caution about adding to a volatility instrument that moves inversely of a VIX that is at historic lows. Now, while yes, it looks like it's poised to break out and move higher next week, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised for that to occur, this is a momentum trade. And if you're going to trade this as a momentum trade, you need to use a trailing stop loss order. My guess is that we probably break out higher. Note how volume has dropped off dramatically, so the passion for this ETF is not as high. The oscillators look very, very strong. This is a weekly chart. It's looking good. So I'm not going to be a bit surprised to see it move higher, but it's susceptible to a key reversal. And once we get that key reversal, brother, look out below. Daily chart looks fairly bullish, but extended. So while yes, I'm bullish on it, you got to use a trailing stop loss order. It's a momentum trade. Please, if you're gonna get involved with this, please, I beg of you, use a stop loss order. Worry about your downside risk, and that's it, folks. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. If you're following me on StockTwits or watching this on StockTwits, follow me. If you're watching this on my website, please enter your email address. We hate spam too. You will not be spammed. I can guarantee you that. And everybody have a profitable trading week. And if you have any questions, shoot me an email, members. And if you're watching this on one of the social networking sites, leave a comment, and I'll definitely get back to you as well. Talk to you soon, folks. Have a great, great weekend, and have a profitable trading week. Be well, and watch out for these shaky markets.